Hello, today I'll be showing you how to make a GET request to an API and get some information back into your and get some data back into your Flutter application. And to do this, we will need one package. It is called the HTTP package that I have already installed. So in case you don't have it installed, you can get it from this website here, the pubdev, whatever, this website, right? So you come here, you get it, and you paste it here in your dependencies, and you click the get, and it will be added into your Flutter application. And the API that we'll be making these get requests to, because we will only be getting data from the API into our app, we will not be sending data for this tutorial in particular. We'll be using the JSON placeholder. This one, you can always get it from this place, and we'll be using like their post model. I think this one, yeah, here it is. So we will also be using like the JSON to Dart converter. I think you can already see it from my tab here. So how this thing works is like we just copy these JSON data that we are getting from the API, and we paste it here, and this website will generate a model here. You see, it is already been written here. So I want to call this model, I want to call it post. So when I click on generate, you see it has already given me this one. So I can copy this model and use it in my code. So let's go back to our code right here. With the model that we copied from that JSON to that website, we will now paste it in our code. So I will create a new file. I think like it is better to put it like in a separate folder, but because this is not like an actual project, I'll just make a simple file. I'll call it the post model. Yes. And in here, I will paste what I copied from the internet. Okay. So now we are done. And so we come back to our code, and now we start to write the actual code. Debug show banner is false. Now let's create our home page also. Call it the home page screen, which will import also material, and it will have a stateful widget, I guess, called home page, and that will have a scaffold here. I think everything is ready. Now let's just import it here. Yes, and now we are done. So let's see if everything works now. Yes, everything is working nicely. .dat file. We will now import the HTTP package. We will call it as HTTP, and we'll also import the model that we just created, which is the post model. I have already written some code, and I'm going to explain it to you, as it will be much convenient for me, and like it will make things faster, So here I made a list of the model that we copied, from the post model here. We made like a list, and here we make an HTTP request to the API, and we get some response, and we use the Dart convert to change that response into JSON format, which can be used by the Flutter application. Over here, we are looping through that response that came, and we are adding it to the post list that we have up there. This post list, we are adding everything to it. So you might be wondering what this from JSON is, and the from JSON is like it is a factory method, or like a factory constructor, And what it is basically doing is that it is taking the JSON data that we are getting from the API, and it is using it to create an object out of this class. So you can examine this code extra to see exactly how it is doing that. It is very simple actually. So once it creates the object, it then adds it to that list over here, and that is basically what is happening. For the body of our application, what you are seeing over here, I just use a future builder, and here is where I am calling the get data, So if you don't know what a future builder widget is, I think you can check it from the Flutter website. But like as the name like implies, it builds something later, So like it will first make a request, wait for some data to come, and like based on what is coming, it will like build like accordingly. So here I am telling it to show a circular progress indicator if like the connection state is waiting, and then when there is data, it will now build this thing. So that is a very simple code. So this is how I would go about the problem of making an API call and getting data into my Flutter application. There are many ways to do it, but this is just one of the way that I personally use. And so all the data that we have now received from the API is now being stored in this post. So like we can conduct filter methods on it, like if you want to make like say a search function. So let's try and do that. So I have already built the search page, and I'm just going to go through the code. So what I did was very simple. I just passed all the data that we got from the API that we stored into this variable. I just passed it to the search page, and here's where I passed it, through its constructor over here. So once we have that data, we can just now perform like simple like filtering methods on it. Like we can use the where, the like the like those filtering methods, you know them from JavaScript, etc. So let's open that page. So this is how it looks. There is a text field over here, and there is a list view under here. So in the text field, I'm saying that anytime you type something here, you should just go through the list that I passed. You should just check every post and see whether the post title contains whatever you wrote here, and then all those posts that contains those things should be displayed down here. So that is what this code is actually doing. It's a very simple code, self-explanatory. If you look at it well, you can understand it. It's not much complicated. So let's try it out and see. So let's search for anything that contains Q. You see all of them are now showing up here. You can also search for, say, the poster contains Q or whatever, and it shows up. And if you type something that is not there, it just gives you this one. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching my video, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comment section below. Thank you once more. Have a lovely day.